Welcome back, everybody, to another Two Tamers Talk. We got Jeff back in the house.
Hey guys, it is so good to be back. And I don't even know I'm speechless. I'm looking at you across, I don't have to look over monitors.
Yep.
This crazy setup that you came up with. I remember you shooting us a message you had this floor plan laid out. You're like, I'm going to move all this stuff around. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And I'm like, well, we got it's going great. But holy cow, look at this. This is, guys, everybody in the comments, appreciate all of Jesse's work. I mean, none of this would be possible without you guys. We have loyal fans that just keep coming in full force and making things like this happen. And we're just so excited. I know this is the highlight of my week, filming this podcast. I'm sure it is for you too. Right?
Yeah,
right?
No, this is definitely... I was really sad. I mean, thank you again to Jacob for coming, because he was here for the first week. We had this kind of up and running, and it was kind of like our stress test on the equipment, on the placement of everything.
Yeah.
And so it really gave me, it was actually kind of nice because it gave me a little bit of leeway and stuff to fine tune for your triumphant return.
My grand debut with the new setup.
Yeah, for sure.
No, absolutely. And huge shout out to Jacob for filling in. He always does it. He's always got my back. He's definitely one of the good people for sure out there. So, as always, guys, if you love all the different personalities, if you get sick and tired of hearing my voice, let us know in the comments. Let us know you're ready to see a new person here. You know what I'm saying?
Want Joe or Nito or,
we miss Joe. We really, Joe, if you're watching this one's for you. So thank you so much for being a kick butt crew. Everybody involved, It sucks that I have to travel for work, maybe if we can get a bunch more subscribers, so get all your friends, all your dead relatives to make accounts, right?
No, and we're definitely gonna. I'm gonna throw that into the universe right now, because we do get analytics, and 35% of the people that watch our content are subscribers. So that's over half of you that haven't clicked the little button. So please click the little button. It really does. It really does help us.
It absolutely.
For sure.
And while we're on the topic of talking about new subscribers and stuff, our local scene, we had some new people.
We did.
And I love these new faces. I love seeing new faces. We have one guy who's been going the past couple weeks that you and I both been getting to know really well, and he came up to us and was talking how much he loves watching this, and stuff like that makes our day. Yeah. And the fact that we had new people showing up here playing the game. I remember I had one guy, I actually went to the Sunday locals, right? My wife had an appointment, and I went and played, and a new guy comes in. He's like, yeah, I'm thinking about getting a Digimon. So I was kind of talking to him. I was like, buy one of the Beelzemon, advanced decks.
That's why he's playing purple tonight.
Yeah, that's why. Gotcha. Because, well, I mean, what other deck right now, right, out of the box could you play to, really be competitive? The Mastermon deck's kind of hard to find, and it's kind of hard for new players, and the Ragnar Lord deck and the Jessmon deck, I know they're sold out at our shop.
Yeah, people bought those out for the Tamers.
Yeah, and sometimes I think those have lost their appeal, right? You know what I'm saying? So I think the Beelzemon's a good place to start for these new players, and that's what I recommended. And I know I saw two brand new faces who I've seen at other events, other card games, whatever, that were there full force ready for Digimon. So I'm very excited to keep the scene growing. I mean, it's crazy. We keep thinking that we're not going to get more people. Yeah. We keep thinking it's at its peak, but
I'm talking about being inclusive. Guys, tomorrow, this is the last time we get to plug this. And will you help me impose the graphic?
How do I do that?
Right here.
Right here.
Just
here?
with all your power and all your force. Yeah. It's going to go right there. Guys, tomorrow is our build out of a box pre-release event at Wayward City Games in Vancouver, Washington. If you're in the Portland metro area or in the Northwest and you want to come join us, we're up to 16 or 17 prepaid people already. There's usually 8 to 10 more that just pay at the door.
It's going to be packed. It's going to be a killer time.
Yes. So the link's in the description below. It is our premiere event. It's outside of the podcast. It's the favorite thing that we do Digimon-wise, every single set. So we really look forward to it. I take time off work. We go nuts for it. We love having people. So make sure, if you guys don't know what it is, you're not paying attention by now. You build out of it's a premium price, but it's a premium product. You build your pre-release deck out of an entire box. It's official Bandai support. There's sleeves, pizza, drinks, everything's included. It is a blast, and we get to come hang out with us.
Absolutely.
Come kick our butts.
I mean, that's what we want.
Yeah. So jumping into pre-release, that was kind of one of the topics that we wanted to talk about. After we want to talk about locals.
Yeah.
Because we both went to locals tonight.
We both did.
You were back for the first time.
I was back. So I played on Sunday. You know, I was like excited. You know, my wife had an appointment and I was like, oh, I got to go play on Sunday. I got back Saturday from my trip to Michigan and I was really disappointed. So flew in on Saturday, the Saturday before Easter to Michigan. And I was like looking up events to play and everything was on Sunday. And that first Sunday I was there was Easter. Found that out the hard way when I went to the mall to try to buy sunglasses, and the doors are all locked. I'm like, is the mall closed down? Am I like, you know, is this mall out of business? No, it's Easter.
Yeah.
Guys, I guess that's a holiday people celebrate. I guess it's a big deal. I don't know.
It's a reason to not play card games.
My mom hasn't bought me an Easter basket in a couple years, so if you're watching, Mom, you know, I need an Easter basket. But no, so like, and then, you know, I flew back on that next Saturday, so I missed an event, and I was really looking forward to, you know, that's one of the things I like to do. If I have to travel for work, I want to play in events, and I brought, you know, a bunch of decks with me. I brought cards, and I was like, I need to keep my game up because I was rusty. I was so rusty today at locals. Oh my goodness, making bad moves, making things that I think were unnecessary, you know, jumping the gun a little bit prematurely on the deck I was playing and stuff. So it's always good to come back and have the opportunity to kind of like, you know, refocus, right? I know I feel like I've been saying that
what did you play tonight?
So I brought back my War Gray.
Oh, your yellow.
Yeah, my yellow, my red base, yellow BT4 War Gray.
Patented and improved.
I love this deck. Yeah. It's a favorite of mine for sure. And the reason specifically I wanted to play it today, right, is we have this new mulligan rule. Yeah. This is an unofficial topic for the week.
You've been gone for like the first couple
So I wanted to get a little feedback from you now that after we've a couple weeks of the mulligan, what you think and stuff. So like for me, right? I'm used to playing a certain number of level 3s because I'm scared of breaking. And I would rather have a consistent low end, you know, middle end, whatever, and maybe sacrifice explosive top end plays to make sure that I know that I can play the game and I'm not losing because I'm bricking, right?
Yeah, consistency.
Yeah, so I know right before the event I came over here and I was like, this is what I'm thinking. You know, I'm taking out these 2 level 3s because it's mulligans, right? Like I don't need 14 level 3s in mulligan. Yeah. You know, so I'm fine-tuning that number, and I think the deck punished me. You know, I think something out in the universe knew that I like a lot of level 3s, and there was times where I was just craving, you know, that was the mineral that I craved was those level 3s. And, you know, so I might go to 13. That might be my happy number, but it was fun, right? Like I specifically picked this deck. I specifically picked the idea of testing mulligans and seeing like, what do I think of this many level 3s? What do I think of, I went up on a level 6. I went up on a level 5. And I'm actually really happy I went up on the level 5 and the level 6. Definitely don't disagree with that decision. But there was a whole bunch of things to consider just having that extra room. And, you know, here on the channel, we build decks. You guys watch our deck profile videos. You know, there's people that watch our deck profile videos that never come to these, you know, awesome podcasts. So we need to change that, first of all. But, you know, like, we're excited to build decks. And with these new mulligan rules, we want to see how much deck building changes. So, you know, unofficial topic I'm putting on you in the last second, right? What do you think? Like, what would your review be of mulligans a couple weeks in?
Oh, okay. So it's a hot debated topic, right? Yeah. So you have, and I think that jumping into locals the last couple of weeks, we've definitely touched a lot of players' minds and talked to them about like, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? And there's not that much dissension aside from the very, very top end and I don't want to think, I'm not trying to like say that they're not playing fair decks but of course the meta players are not as happy with it as the people that play the creative decks. Because I think that what the mulligan has done is it allows people to play. It gives them more opportunity to be competitive with decks that they want to do their thing with, like their fun decks. They're not necessarily like the most consistent decks, but it is definitely given them the opportunity to give them a second chance at not hitting what they need to hit. You know, in that first hand. I hope that makes sense. Like, big one for me is Machine Dramon. So Machine Dramon was one of the ones that like it bricks. When it bricks, like you just lose the game. If you play, you know, 18, 19 cyborgs in your deck and your first hand is all these 7 or 8 cost cyborgs, it's really hard to recover against a Black War.
How do you get out of that? Especially none of them are on play draw 2.
Against a Black War Gray player, like what do you do? You know, so now you can mull that, and then hope you get a Hagurumon, a Black Memory Boost, an Analog Man, something that's going to help you on turn 2 start your rotation. And that's just one example. There are tons of other decks. Tonight, I played Ulforce.
Yeah.
Like, you would think Ulforce is a deck that is not a deck where you need to mull because you do run all the 3s and the 4s, but it has made Ulforce that much more competitive because it lets you reduce the number of rookies you play in the deck to make it competitive.
Your level 3 count was already much lower than mine.
I start at 12.
You start at 12.
I start at 12.
It's like blasphemy starting, unless I'm playing purple, right, at 14. That's where I like to start.
Ulforce also has so many things that search. Like if before the mulligans, if you didn't hit one of your rookies, you would still have a Davis or a Blue Memory Boost or something to dig you out of that hole.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Absolutely.
But now with moles, you can go down to even less level 3s.
I mean, the amount of room that it opens up in every deck, right? All of a sudden now we have, like you're talking about Ulforce, and we were talking about our plans for BT12. Stay tuned. Great deck profiles coming your way.
Yeah.
Just how we're going to start deck building in the future. And I know I'm personally struggling with this, with these changes, but it's almost like I just need to just think about a different mindset. Like I already in purple was generally playing 12 to 13 level 3s, and 13 was like on a rare occasion. Usually I play 12 in purple, right? But now we have so many cards that search, so many cards that draw, the ability to mulligan, right?
Yeah.
And you still have playable plays even if you don't get a level 3, right? Like you can't build your deck and just be like, if I don't have a level 3, I have no play.
Right.
Like you still have to have that for sure. It's just crazy how much it opens the game, and it's really funny because if you guys know me, I'm not a Jessamon fan.
Yeah.
And what is the one deck that I have been dying to see in action with these mulligan rules? Jessamon.
Yeah.
Like I have nothing against the Jessamon deck. I'm just not a fan of Jessamon the dude. You know what I'm saying? He's just a little too edgelord for me, right? No big deal. I don't like all the sharp lines as much. But I want to see with mulligans a dominant Jessamon player like there used to be. It wasn't even that long ago.
No, it wasn't that long ago.
It's not even a lot has changed for Jessamon, and they just all went away in our locals at least. And like you don't see them online, you don't see them in regionals. I haven't seen any of the Facebook groups people talking about Jessamon. Guys, come play Jessamon at the show. I'll tell you what. Anybody who plays at our locals that plays Jessamon next week, I'll buy your entry. I don't care. If you show up,
heard it here first,
and
folks.
It's one of those decks that I'm not talking like, oh hey, I'm teching into one of Jessamon. No. It is a Jessamon deck. Yeah. I'll pay for your entry.
Yeah.
Next week locals or the next time we play locals, because I think the Wednesday.
Yeah, next Wednesday is
right. Is that 6-pack?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we do a 6-pack really. So the one after that. This is tough because the problem is when a new set comes out, everybody wants to play the new stuff.
That being said, they'll have BT12 cards, and I guess it's not going to be legal yet.
So it's
but
what
they do get a new Huckmon with the security Huckmon.
Offer still stands. Next time we're not doing a 6-pack pre-release. Anybody who plays Jessamon, I will pay for your entry. But I guess
I'm playing Jessamon.
I need to see what Jessamon players who know the deck, who understand the ratios, there's a reason why they played so many few level 3s that are not sisters back before mulligans, right? With that strength, and I'm curious about it. So for sure,
I am super stoked though for this pre-release event coming up. We have that this weekend, and like we talked about, it is our favorite event, and so we're gonna jump in.
It's a new set. It's BT12.
Yes.
We love new cards. We absolutely love them.
Yeah.
So
I can't wait. Like, I am super stoked. I have decks built for it already. We have a whole bunch coming down the queue for you guys. Deck profiles.
Yeah.
They're not even updates. They're complete revamps because these cards
there's so many decks to build.
Yeah.
Like Red Hybrids BT12 is no longer an update series of Red Hybrids from BT7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we're getting ahead of ourselves, though, because we definitely need to jump into these new regionals.
Okay.
I think you have the regional stuff in front of you.
I do. So... Again, shout out to Jesse. Look at this wonderful little tablet that I have in front of me. It's got it's touchscreen for my fat fingers and everything too.
We're trying to stay consistent. So we have some regionals, and I think the only reason I wanted to talk about this,
was
because we have some real big. Not I don't want to say surprises, but like we had a lot of consistent Merva cross wins for I want to say like 3 or 4 weeks in regionals. whether it was here, it was around the world, in the English version at least. And then we start seeing all these variants. So the first one that popped out at me was this Melga, Blue Melga.
Oh yeah,
it's back.
Absolutely.
And it won Latin America's regionals. And it is a fun looking list with not like a bunch of crazy surprises, but I love the top end where it still runs the Blitz Omni, it still runs the X antibody, but like it just takes advantage of that card that didn't get banned with the Cool Boy. They're just like, yeah, I'm going hard in the paint. I'm Cool Boy.
Well, it's crazy because like Melga decks were always hard for me personally, right? Because of the ratios. And now we have Mulligan, right? So we're talking 11 level 3s on this deck, right? So and the deck list should be right.
It's there.
If I can follow
it's
my
right
fingers.
down. Yeah.
That area, right? Right. So now we're talking 11 level 3s. So that one extra card is that Metal Storm that people wanted to play, but now it's like Metal Storm is there. You know what I'm saying? So just the fact that Mulligans are making decks like these are a little stronger, which is part of the reason people were opposed to it, right?
Yeah.
You know, they were like, oh man, Melga's already dominant, blah, blah, blah. And this could be a pretty good example. But what is refreshing, which is crazy to think that I'm talking about Melga X as being refreshing, is that it's not Black War Gray. Or it's not Cross.
Yeah.
And I love those decks. Like I'm a Greymon fan, you know, and I am a Cross fan as well. But
you have all those decks.
Yeah, I just don't like feeling in any game or any meta that there's only one deck that you play to win. You know, and I don't feel that way right now, which is crazy to think about. Like I feel like Granis could take a regional at any moment. I feel that Melga, Cross, Black or Gray, right?
How often do you see Metal Storm?
Oh, never. I'm not a fan of the card. Not a fan of the card.
Yeah.
I don't hate it, but I'm not a fan of it, right?
My favorite part about like all these new regional decks that you see that are winning, like there's usually like one card that they're like, this is my spice card.
Yeah.
Like I don't have it readied right now, but there is I want to say it's a purple, yellow, like Mastamon list.
Yeah.
Or security. I think it's security control or something. It runs a Magidramon, like BT5 Magidramon.
Yeah, just for attack or something.
Or just for mill or something. You know, just to out mill your.
I know you and I were talking about this in the car, but like we're talking about deck building, and I know I was talking about my earlier Wargrave deck, right? But like having these extra spaces to fill with options as a one or two of that can be clutch in a moment, right? Which is crazy to me because I'm a consistency kind of guy. So like you're telling me like I need to play a one of Metal Storm to like make Melga regional.
2 Hammer Sparks.
Oh, I don't think that's. I'm not opposed to that because like
I'm not
Hammer
opposed
Spark,
to it. You just didn't see it before.
I feel
they would take that out to make it more consistent.
I feel like Hammer Spark as a card weeds out the good players from the great players.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It was my card of the week not too long ago.
Yeah. Oh, was it?
Yeah.
So, I mean, Hammer Spark, there's too many times where I feel like people have used a Hammer Spark just to force your opponent to give them one less memory. And, like, you know, I'll see people back in the days of BT1, BT, all the way up to BT whatever recently, right? Where people will, like, just feel like they have to use a Hammer Spark so that way their tamer doesn't give me 4, it gives me 3.
Right.
Or something, you know? And I'm like, why would you waste this valuable resource?
It's an offensive card.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that there's times and places to choke your opponent to a certain amount of memory, you know, and there is a big difference between 3 and 4 memory, don't get me wrong. But I really feel like Hammer Spark weeds those people out.
It's
like
a late
win to Hammer Spark. You know, which is why I like it as a 2 of. You know, again, I think I'd rather have 4 blue memory boosts because I love memory boosts in general.
Yeah.
You know, so it's
No, it's a great deck. I wanted to get that one out of the way first because
Melga is just crazy to me and always blows my mind because I just don't understand when you look at it on paper and you see 5 level 6s, which is generally like the average that they play in the decks, and I feel like I struggle with 6. You know, it's like,
but
man,
the champion of no. I know what you're saying.
I know you know what I'm saying.
It's a crazy deck. And every time you run into it at locals, you're just like, oh.
Or you're like, oh, hey, Melga X is my boss. I'm going to play it as a 4 of or whatever. But it's like, no, it's just a 3 of. Like, what a random number. It's not a 2 of. It's not a 4. It's a 3.
Okay, let's talk about the next one. The next one is this. I woke up to this
Guys,
morning.
Look at this.
And
I got it like on my tablet here. I get a swap between them. Like,
no, look at that.
I love this.
It's all
I'm so happy right now, guys. It's good to be back.
I know. You leave, you come back, and you got like a whole new setup.
New things are new, you know. It's awesome.
We can look at each other without like wires and screens between us. Yeah. I don't know if you guys knew this, but we used to be this close to each other. It didn't look like it.
Yeah, there'd be like but it was like there was a monitor, and you know, like creating this is just you know, like this is obviously a podcast. Like we're in that type of environment and we love creating this type of stuff. And so now this just feels more like it. You know, it's like a distinct conversation that you'd see in other podcasts that you guys like to watch or whatever.
And we're just gonna jump in here and just say the goal is to get a guest right here.
Yes. So
so that's the goal. We need
speaking of that, we're working on some great ideas. We're talking about individual members in our community that have contributed. You had messaged me the other day about one certain individual who comments on every video of ours. We love you.
Yes.
And I want to do a cool series where it's like we interview like you're a recent player, but now you're like top dog competitive.
Yeah.
You know, so I want to do that series on that. You know, like we have so many ambitions and how we're going to do this whole thing. And
there's so much room for activities now.
So much room for activities.
Yes.
And I'm about to get a drum set and everything. So.
All right. Well, let's jump into the next thing.
Yeah.
Because this is the one that I was super stoked about. I blew your phone up. I blew everyone's phone up. I was like, Machinedramon won a freaking regional. And don't get me wrong, this is not my deck. This is nowhere near my deck. This runs cards that I do not run.
I mean, you wouldn't run those eggs in black.
I would not. No, this is a stack building Machinedramon. But the fact that my boy is represented on a national level now.
But it's the wrong Machinedramon.
He still runs ones that I run.
He runs two of the main one of the most important Machinedramon, of the most fun Machinedramon. But he runs three of the one that why would you run that one?
This is one where you stay safe in raising, essentially. And then you hope, but
it is a very interesting deck.
I'm very happy.
No, of course, I'm happy to see like decks like this win it, right? You know, I love BT1 Secret, Battle Greymon, that it's a 2 of in this deck. But it's crazy because, you know it's Machinedramon list, right? How many of each cyborg do you play? Yep. You know this better than anybody. The first thing my eyes are drawn to when I see this list is the 3 of BTA Metal Greymon.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's a cyborg that's run as a 3 of in a deck with Machinedramon that generally wants distinct level 5s.
Right.
And I remember you were running that, and I remember you were running the X Antibody Metal Greymon, specifically with the Omni package, all the fun combinations for sure.
Yeah.
But it's like, man, what an interesting list. Like, we got Jazardmon, we got Jazamon. Like, those are cards that I don't picture when I think Machinedramon.
Well, and since this is a Digivolving version, I think that is probably the only reason they run 3 of that, because it has such a strong win Digivolving that they're going to get to use that more than I would.
Yeah.
I don't get to use that very often because I only have so many. I think I run 2 or 3 level 4s.
It's crazy, but it's a 7 level 3s.
Yeah.
To Digivolve and Raising.
Yep.
Right? You know what I'm saying? And the fact that their egg is the Doraemon, which I
that's
understand.
Not counting if they do want to use the Haguru in Raising, they can.
But generally you don't.
Which does happen sometimes, If you already have the pieces in hand, you definitely just Digivolve it and get 1 card instead of putting it out on the field for fodder.
I almost kind of wonder if it's one of those decks where they're like, as they get the pieces that they need to build their stack, they're like slowly evolving the raising area. Mm-hmm. So they may not promote for 3 turns.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
But it's like, oh, hey, I got the Sonoriza. That's a good level 3 to set up in my raising. And the Gardramon's going to be a good level 4 or whatever they decide to use. Yeah. And then they're like using the Haguru, they're using the Analog, they're using the Black Memory Boost, kind of like on plays to fill the space in between their turns or whatever like that. So.
Yeah, you're definitely not doing anything in this deck until, you're not making any big plays as far as, dropping a Machinedramon for 11 or raising out your Machinedramon. You're not doing that.
How do you play a Machinedramon deck with that as a 2 of? Jesse, I don't understand.
They build it in Raising and wait till they have an Analog Man. It's the Analog Man.
The Analog, I mean, you love that card.
Because the new Machinedramon doesn't do anything without that.
Yeah.
You have to return one from the field to actually activate the play one from trash. Yeah. So there's a lot of good combos there, but I can't argue with this list because he won a freaking regionals with Machinedramon.
Yeah.
So when people talk about, was the ban on Black War Gray successful, I don't think this would have seen a win without that actually going through. So, I'm loving seeing the variation of decks winning regionals. And I know we didn't talk about it because we talked about it last week, but the fact that there's regionals online and offline every single month, and when there's not, there's Ultimate Cups. There's tournaments that we're going to get to review, and we're going to see current updates on English meta and results every week. There's going to be reveals
So
because they're happening.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, they're happening here, Oceania, Latin America, everywhere. It's like before it was literally just like, well, in 3 or 4 months we'll see an ultimate or an Evo Cup or an Ultimate Cup, and we'll see what's happening in the meta. But now that they've taken away the qualifications for Nats from store champs and actually moved them to all these regionals that they're doing over and over and over again, we get to see current snapshots of what the meta looks like every week, every 2 weeks. Like it's way more consistent. So we actually get to see like the top decks and what people are looking at and thinking of. So I think that it's going to be a lot more relevancy and there's going to be a lot more updates on what the top decks in the meta are. And you're going to get to see that reflected in your locals for sure.
Oh, I definitely. 100%. So looking at the list, let me correct myself. I got Jazamon and Jazardmon mixed up. So there's 11 level 3s.
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
So it's a little bit better with the mulligan, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But no, you're absolutely right. All the points that you make, great points. Like, having that restricted level 4 in the Greymon next to anybody, and the black or gray deck does help allow other decks to explode into the scene, whether the fact that Cool Boy should have been hit or whatever, or even level 5 should have been hit. I think Bandai's doing the right thing where you kind of you don't want to just restrict every card in the deck, right? Like you got to restrict one at a time.
Yeah.
You got to do, just see how it goes with one thing. And I think that the results that they're getting are very good with the fact that these multiple events are having different top decks, et cetera, et cetera. And I am very excited that we are having almost more regionals.
Oh, way more.
Way
more.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that the store champ thing kind of happened where people aren't really getting their invites if you win a store champ, because that was a big deal to us, right?
Yeah.
Like, I remember almost winning 2 store champs and, fumbling the bag right in the end because I was excited to get that, opportunity, that invite, right, to go to nationals or whatever.
Okay. And I'm going to interrupt because...
Yeah, yes, please.
Don't let this guy not sound selfish because...
I'm very selfish.
No, you're selfless.
Oh.
He lost a store championship with invites to a guy he lent the cards to for the deck to win.
So, okay, backstory on this, right? I'm not trying to make excuses for myself. We both played Blue Flare right after the Cross Heart restriction of Cross 4. And I'm like, I'm going to play Blue Flare because I think it's going to be the best deck. And it was the best deck. It was the deck that won.
Really strong. Yeah.
And he shows up with his Blue Flare list, and he hasn't edited anything since the EX4 came out. I'm like, bro, put in these Sorais, or EX3.
Yeah.
Put in these Sorais, put in this, put in that. And I lays out his deck, and I change his ratios. I swap his Deckard, Greymon, and all this stuff. And then round 1, I get the mirror against him.
Yeah.
And you know what the worst part about all of this is?
What?
Is that I miss this dude.
Yeah.
And that he hasn't been playing with us or interacting with us almost since then.
Yeah, he's a great player.
He's
absolutely.
I like him as a friend, like he's a
great
good
player.
member of the scene. Like he's been playing since the early stages of the game, and I haven't seen him in like what feels like months.
Yeah.
Like, dude, like come tell me how good you are at the game, because you're always good when you play the game. Like come sit, come hang out, let's play.
Yeah.
That's what I want. So
for sure. Well, we're going to get to see a lot of players because we have pre-release coming up.
We do.
And we promised you guys some pre-release strategies, and we've been pouring over these cards because this is going to be a really fun set for pre-release because my favorite is back, right? We get 2-cost rookies back.
We do.
Oh, God.
Now, it's
So
not
happy.
one of every color,
No.
like when you won,
No,
right?
Yeah.
Not that that's what you needed to win, but...
Oh, I needed it to win.
Everybody needs 2-cost rookies, of course.
I only won because I got 2-cost rookies and I got Tamers that played level 4s for free. So.
Yeah. What's... I mean, first of all, let me start by talking. Guys, so, again, we do a full box pre-release.
Right.
So we have 2 events. We do a full box and we do a 6-pack. So if you are in the Vancouver, Washington, Portland, Oregon, anywhere in the state of Oregon, anywhere in the state
Pacific
of Washington,
Northwest.
Drive from Idaho, Montana, whatever, come see us, come hang out. We'll be sure to buy you a beer. But we do 2 different pre-release events. We do so this particular one is a full box that we're doing on Saturday. And so tomorrow, as of this recording.
Yeah.
It's a blast. And I can't think of another set, even back all the way to BT1. I'm gonna go as far as that, even though we didn't do pre-release back then.
Yeah, because everyone, it was
where
pandemic,
you had full decks available and possible to build in a single box, right? We are talking a Gallantmon deck. You can build a full-on Gallantmon deck if you pull enough of the Gallants, right? Because the chances are with a box, you'll pull almost a playset of Growlmon, Guilmon, Growlmon, or War Growl, etc., whatever.
Yeah, the rares are going to be kind of tough.
Yeah, the rares are going to be
get
tough.
Maybe 2.
Don't get me wrong.
You get to substitute it with any other color
you want. You
want.
substitute with any color, right? But it's not just Gallantmon. It's red hybrids. Like, yes, obviously you're going to want Takuya from BT, 7? The hybrid format was 6?
Oh, for like the actual deck? Yeah. But you have...
I'm not on my A game today. Whatever set the hybrids was, you're not going to have...
BT7.
Yeah, but you still have enough red Tamers.
There's 4.
And you still have enough red hybrids.
There's 4 red Tamers
to build red hybrids in pre-release.
Yeah.
You know 4. What I'm saying? And it's not just red. It's the fact that you get Ulforce, or you can build Ulforce with X antibody. You can build Imperial Dramon, blue-green.
Well, the Imperial Dramon, you can build the entire line. Because the Imperial Dramon, I believe, is only a rare, right? The dragon mode,
Let's
believe.
Look. Again, shout out to Jesse for these awesome tablets here. Look at me go. The dragons are rare.
The dragons are rare. So if
like,
if you're doing the 6-pack
in a full box with the playset, for example, even like you said, a 6-pack, you get 2 of them.
You could, yeah.
You can get 2 of them, right? And it's literally every color has this, right? Shine gray with the yellow stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's flash with red. You got green potatoes. This is the first pre-release / new set that I can think of where you're getting like a whole archetypes, and not just one archetype.
There's multiple,
where it's like, hey, you get this one archetype in this entire box. No, every color has almost a unique archetype that you can build and play on.
It almost feels like they mashed 2 EX sets together. Because usually
that's a great way to put it. I didn't even think about that.
Usually the EX sets have an entire line in it. You know, whether it's like Galacticmon or what, you're not Galacticmon, but like D-Reaper or something like that.
Yep.
But this one, I'm going to put my stake in the ground and say I think that the blue-green, the Imperial line, is probably going to be the strongest. Because...
Think so? See, I don't think that.
I mean, depending on your locals.
Yeah.
You should get the Boncho Stingmon that comes as the participation.
Okay. So now
to
this
be
is
a top end for your green blue, and it does well with those inheritables.
So this is where I was a really bad fan / subscriber. Again, if you're not subscribed, feel free to subscribe. If you are subscribed, get 5 of your friends to subscribe to us. I didn't watch last week's video. I got back. Work has been real busy, and I've been really excited to just come play Digimon instead of watching our old video. So again, Jacob, I'm sorry. I'm sure you did a great job last week, but I'll watch it. So today's Friday when it releases. I'll watch it yesterday, if that makes you feel better. I'll watch it yesterday since we're recording this on a Wednesday. But I mean, no, it's like we're getting multiple lines. We're getting all of these different archetypes. We're getting these distinct keywords. Like Raid is, Raid was really good last pre-release
with Marsmon.
Marsmon, right? And all of the like level 4 or 5 Grizzly,
all that stuff,
right? And now we're getting a new Wargray with it. We're getting all these crazy stuff. That doesn't even touch on the hunters. 99% of your hunters deck is basically out of this box. And you could build if you're really trying to win pre-release, like you really want that foil Magnadramon. Let me correct myself. I don't know if it's foil yet. I certainly hope it's foiled. I want a full art.
We haven't physically seen it yet.
I need like 20 of these Magnadramons that are full art for sure. But like, the Banjo Sting as well, right? Like we're getting that. Like that's the point I was trying to make. I got a little derailed for a sec. But Banjo Sting, man, like that's crazy. Like
Banjo Sting Man? Banjo
Sting Mon. It's one of my wife's favorite cards.
That's our buddy Nito's favorite card.
It's a good card for green. And I remember that card coming out and being like, a level 6 with 9K, well, at least it's better than /Angemon. But it's got a really strong ability. And not only that, when you're playing in this pre-release format, you're kind of attacking over opponent's Digimon.
Yep.
You're kind of doing board management as you play. So the fact that you have piercing and you're doing 3 checks if it's a level 6, chef's kiss, right? You know what I'm saying? Like that's
it's gonna be
crazy.
A good card.
That's crazy.
Not to be outdone by our security Greymon we got last one.
That one was pretty good. That was so much fun. That's tough because like I don't know, man. I feel like I'm still building my decks wrong at pre-release, even though I feel like I'm like right on the cusp of winning. You know what I'm saying? Where like I'm doing few level 6s, like I'm doing 3 to 4 or whatever. And that Security Greymon was always the card I was looking for. You know, that's such a good card that they gave us last set. So
I'm super excited for this pre-release. So once again, come join us at Wayward City Games. We are tomorrow. Yeah. And if you can't make it to that and you want to do a lesser, like 6-pack one, there is one on Wednesday.
Yes.
So the following Wednesday, I'm not sure what the date is. So probably 25th, 26th, whatever that Wednesday is. We're doing a 6-pack. Because what we found was we'd always do the pre-release on a Saturday, and then the following Wednesday would be our next locals, but it would still be in the prior format. But everyone had already gotten all the cards from the new set, so we do 2 pre-releases because we're awesome.
We do 2. It's crazy how different the 2 pre-releases are. Yeah. Like, obviously, for most people listening, they're probably used to the 6-pack format. Yeah. And the 6-pack format, don't worry, guys, stay tuned, keep listening. We're going to talk about specific cards that are good, whether or not you play a full box or a 6-pack. But the fact that we have both formats, and they're completely different.
Very much. So
So you go from a full box where you have archetypes to where you have, I pulled 2 of the same super rare.
A lot of eggs.
A lot. That's a great point, a lot of eggs. Whereas sometimes in 6-packs, you could pull 0 eggs.
Yeah.
It's possible,
Entirely possible, yeah.
But let's dive into cards that are probably good in both a 6-pack and a box.
Okay.
So there's a couple cards that I was looking through that I specifically wanted to highlight, right? So I know the blocker mechanic is kind of a dead mechanic, right? Like, yes, blocker is very strong, especially nowadays with the black or gray, whereas you have this ginormous level 6, or even a level 5, right, that has 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 27,000, who knows, K, right? But there is a 3-drop level 4 blocker in this pre-release set.
Oh, that's right.
And it is a common.
So you're going to get a bunch of them. And
so
in pre-release, remember, in pre-release, I'm just going to interrupt you for a second.
Yes, please.
You can have more than 4 of a card in pre-release.
Yeah.
There are no limits.
There are no rules. Right, I still think you have to have wear a shirt and shoes and stuff.
Well, yeah.
But play 5 of these blockers if you want, guys. No,
I'm talking about the Yakima.
Yeah, so this is the card that, like, on my first initial just quick glance, that this highlighted on me, right? Because the fact that you can have guys, you don't understand. For those of you that did or did not play during BT1, you either understand what I'm talking about or you missed out on a wonderful phase of Digimon, where in order to play a blocker, you had to drop 5. And sometimes giving your opponent 4 to 5 memory just so you can get a blocker on the field was what the difference was between you losing and winning that game was. So the fact that this is a 3-cost level 4, so you can go into your level 5s if you need to next turn. And it's a blocker.
Game changer.
And it also, guys, again, this maybe this dates me, which is crazy to think because Digimon's not even that old of a card game. It used to cost, back in my day, it used to cost 2 memory to attack with a blocker.
Yeah.
This guy does not. So that's the card that at first initially just speaks on me and, other cards. So I know Jesse was talking about it, his last pre-release that he dominated, completely destroyed the competition.
It was BT10.
The last one in my mind.
Yeah.
Was where the 2-drops really came to shine.
Yeah.
So this set, guys, we are getting 2 2-drop level 3s.
Yep.
And for those of you who have never played Rookie Rush, stop what you're doing, build a Rookie Rush deck, take it to your locals,
and have people
and try it, and understand that when you learn how to play and build Rookie Rush, that it will make you a better card game player in this game, because you learn the value, right, of having just an aggressive presence on board that all of a sudden changes the game state by just dropping a 2-drop rookie.
Or multiple.
Or multiple in a turn, depending on how much memory you have, depending if you have a memory setter, depending on how much. If your opponent gave you 6 to play, a board deletion card or to remove your big body, and you can respond by throwing out 3 to 4 2-drops, right? Everybody should play Rookie Rush to at least try it and learn how it feels. But
especially if you're seeing a lot of security control in your meta.
Yeah, because you drop 2 and they have to pay 8 to get rid of it.
Or if they play a Magnadramon for 7, you can drop 4 bodies the next turn.
Yeah.
And they only recovered 1.
Now, a good security control player will have answers to whiteboards, of course, Or they'll have Schwartz. I got Schwartz today at our locals.
Yeah.
Thanks, my buddy. But, so let's talk about these two different level 3s. So first one I'm talking about is the yellow one. It is a Pillowmon. So just in case you guys have not been understanding the value of Pillowmon, there's a new one, 4K, 2-drop. It is a 1-cost Evo. So it is not the one I would necessarily highlight as the MVP going into this.
It's not the hero you wanted. It's the one you deserve.
Thank you. I'm glad you're throwing the references back my way because I feel like it's me going that way.
I got
so Pillowmon's a great one. I'm just really excited about the Zenimon.
Is that the coin?
The coin.
Yeah,
we get the whole coin line in this set. Like, you wouldn't think there would be room for this, but of course, black gets the Digimon no one else wants, right?
You gotta fill
Even though I love playing black. But no, it's a 2-drop, 3 costs, 0 to evolve Zenimon. So anytime in your guys' pre-release that you see a Zenimon, pull those right away off to the side.
Yeah.
Get those ready, play as many as you can pull, because even 3K in security, you're killing every rookie that swings when they're trying to be aggressive. Yeah. That's a 2-drop with an effect, right? Or 2K with an effect. It's just a good card.
You can only have 40 cards in your deck, so I mean, it makes sense to run as many of these like early first hand.
I would run 40 of Zenimon.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I pulled 40 Zenimon, I'd play 40 Zenimon.
Yeah, and just see
win.
what happens.
Just win the whole event, because how are you going to stop all my 2-drops?
Yeah. Because eventually what happens in pre-release is a lot of times they'll end up having to play something really expensive. And if you have, well, I'm just going to clear my hand and play all these, and they have to deal with that. And typically there's not a whole lot of removal in one set that can deal with wide boards like that.
Well, this set has a good balance, right? So
it really does.
This set really does have a good balance of different level 3s depending on what archetype you play in. It also has a good balance of level 4s that don't cost that much to hard drop.
Yeah.
Because that is also a strength in pre-release. So, I'm looking at this XVmon, right? This XVmon on paper, right? When this Digimon would DNA Digivolve into a green Digimon, gain 1 memory.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, obviously, you're probably not going to DNA a whole lot during pre-release. It is possible if you get enough of the Pyodramon, right? Yeah. It is a good level 5 in the deck for sure. In pre-release especially, too. But it's a 4-drop.
Yeah.
Having a 4-drop is really not that bad, and it's only 2 to evolve on all of your stuff. So like having cheap level 4s, having cheap level 3s, really get that like aggressive pressure going on for sure. So
yeah, I would say definitely focus on the archetypes in this set that are
pretty
core to this.
I think this is the first time I agree on focusing on the archetype.
Yeah.
Right,
rather than just going for Rookie Rush, because
that's usually what yeah.
There's a full set of red hybrids. There's a full set of Imperial Dramon. There's a full set of Shine Gray stuff. There are some cards to avoid though, and some of those would be, in my opinion, the Chaos. There's a lot of pieces in this deck or in this set that are meant to be top ends for decks that are already there.
For decks that are already
Force
out there.
Dramon X is not going to do a lot for you in this. Chaos Dramon X is not going to do a lot for you in this. Shoutmon Cross 7 is not going to do a lot for you in this. In pre-release, these are all great cards that are top ends for BT11 decks, and that's what they're meant for. These are finishers. Darkness Bagramon. This is not necessarily for this set. I suppose you could try and fit it into Tuarmon or Restramon if you want to, but if you do pull it, it's going to be tricky. Like, consistency is what you need in pre-release decks. And like you said, if you're doing a 6-pack, your odds of doing consistent things are far less.
What I love about
these,
the
best you can.
What I know you love, and I love about these pre-release events, right, is the fact that it makes you a better Digimon player.
Yeah.
Right? Like, all of a sudden, you're learning how to deal with what you have and to work with what you got at the moment, right, and making plays based off of that. Yeah. Where, you're straight up swinging with an 7K, 6K, 8K level 5 because that's the best move you got. Right, you're playing like that Digimon to the roots, to the core. What it was like back in my day when you played BT1, where you wouldn't necessarily have 6 effects going off with one Digivolution. Right. So I definitely think this is a good experience that everybody should participate in. There are fun cards like Quartzmon. Quartzmon's going to be insane.
The Digimon game in this pre-release.
In this pre-release, it's going to be
iffy?
Tough to tell.
Yeah.
And like that Agumon, the black-red Agumon that's coming out of this set, it's a 1-cost Evo.
Yeah.
That's almost a card that I'm going to avoid as a level 3 unless I'm playing a 6-pack where it's one of my level 3s because I didn't get that many.
One last thing I wanted to touch on
yes, please.
In pre-release is usually you go through the options. Usually there's like one or two. Like I think the last one, the last good one was Holy Sunshine. I think that was really good in pre-release.
DG Dimension was really good too, but you're
Dimension,
absolutely right. Any of those board effects that targeted multiple bodies.
Especially that's small ones.
Yeah, it's usually what happens in pre-release.
So in this set, we really don't have a lot. What we have is we do have I think the best, you have a worse / better depending on what you're doing. You have a Cocytus Breath and the Great Maelstrom. You can do it for cheaper if you're just playing blue. So you do have that if you need to get rid of some of your opponent's big bodies if they do manage to get into any of those big stacks. And then I think usually like red has like some cool fireball or something to kill stuff. You really just have Pyro Dragons.
So I'm looking at red too, right?
Final Crossblade is not really that.
It's not bad, right?
It's like a...
It says delete one of your opponent's Digimon, right?
It's a more expensive Gaia Force.
It is a more expensive Gaia Force, which in pre-release could be useful.
It could be, but at the same time, your opponents don't have to adhere to the color requirements. And
so
as long as they build their deck with decent ratios, if you're going to give them 9 to play this card, oof.
Yeah, exactly. Like especially 9 to delete one. Yeah. They can just imagine how many 2-drops you could drop.
If I don't have to imagine it.
Right?
That's math.
Yeah, that's just straight
at least 4.
At least 4. No. So, I mean, like in the past, like we've talked about pre-release in our previous pre-release episode, where we would almost look at the options and based on the eggs, right? Based on the options that we have. Because
the color requirements for eggs still
happen. You would hatch an egg and you're like, okay, it's a red egg, so I got red options available for me to use. Or I'm going to play a red tamer because that's going to give me access to my red options. Whereas the options are kind of not that great for removal in this set,
which I'm excited.
Which it's going to be a fun way to play the game for sure, right? Like you're not going to have that availability. Just be like, you know what? I'm going to DJ Dimension and kill 3 bodies.
Yeah.
Or Holy Sunshine and stop a board full of bodies attacking me, and I'm just going to focus on yellow over my eggs, right?
Yeah. All right. Well, that is our cap on pre-release. We'll have a post-pre-release video next week. We'll talk about, 2 pre-releases we'll have under our belts by the next one of these videos. You guys come check out. But we have to kind of circle back on tonight, and we're going to talk about not necessarily the best cards that we played with, but I think you're going to talk about one of the cards that you played against.
Yes.
For Cards of the Week.
So this is the Cards of the Week segment. Guys, I love this segment. I hope you guys too. Let me know in the comments if you guys don't care about Cards of the Week, but I know I do. So I want to take advantage of my platform and give myself a hard time and talk about a specific card in general that I just, for whatever reason, can't seem to memorize. Like, I do a pretty good job when I see my opponents do things. I'm like, yep, I know what that card does. Yep, I know that this is supposed to do this. Like, hell, even tonight, I corrected my opponent and being like, hey, man, you're supposed to gain 1 more memory on this Agitarmon because of Bloomlord, right? Venusmon.
I love to hate that
Everybody hates Venusmon, but if you're playing security control, if you're playing those yellow type of control decks, first of all, I think you and I, we were talking about this in the car, that archetype is needed in the game. There should be a control type deck. There should be ways for people who like to play control to be able to express themselves in this card game. And Venusmon is a really good card. And Venusmon is the only card, for whatever reason, that I seem to, forget what it does, and then I go to do something, and then they're like, hey, by the way, you can't activate when digivolving effects, which is what happened to me today.
Yeah.
Even after my specific opponent, and I hope you're watching this, I love you, dude. He's been on the channel. Read the card out loud to me because he and I specifically have a joke where I always forget what Venusmon does. I never asked to take anything back. Like, I should know what the card does by now. So this particular segment, I'm picking Venusmon because this is my commitment.
Yep.
This is my commitment that I'm going to memorize what the card does. And I'm going to understand that I can't activate when digivolving effects on that particular instance, right, when I try to do it. So Venusmon is just a great card, man. It's a cool card. It's got a good alt art. It's really cool that they added to the game. I'm a big fan of all of the, like, subgroups, right, the Demon Lords, the Royal Knights, the Olympus 12, which is what Venusmon is a part
That's
of.
what she is. That's right. I was trying to think.
She's Olympus 12. And Marsmon, Olympus 12.
Oh, okay.
We still haven't got the best ones. Apollomon, Tyanamon. I think everybody who has played Digimon World Dawn and Dusk are desperately waiting for those. You were just showing me a playmat with Grace Novamon, which is the DNA of those two on the field. Gotcha. But yeah, no, Venusmon, great card. That's my card of the week, guys. Everybody let us know horror stories in the comments of what Venusmon has done to you, or Venusmon has touched you in the wrong place, because I know I personally struggle with Venusmon.
I think we all have.
Yeah, it's a devastating card for sure. What's yours?
All right. I'm going to throw it back. And I honestly can't. I mean, we're on episode 33 now?
Episode 33.
I don't think I've done this one yet, but I'm going to choose a tamer.
I think you've chosen a tamer before.
I think so too. This one's different, I think. I haven't. So tonight I played Ulforce. I guess we didn't really tease it yet, but I went to the final round.
You're right.
So,
how did we not tease it this far?
I guess we didn't.
This far.
Yeah. No, I got all the way to the end. I went 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, and then in the final match, you'll have to wait and see, because we're going to do a commentary.
Should be posted tomorrow?
Yes.
Be posted tomorrow, guys.
Yes.
Watch it.
I was Ulforce against Blue Flare.
Blue Flare.
So a battle of the blues. But I had a great time tonight. I had a lot of fun. Ulforce, I was trying to test its sea legs, getting it ready for the new Ulforce stuff
anybody.
coming.
Yeah.
Wanted to make sure I knew what I was going to take out, what needed to go in, and the V Tamer.
That's going to be your card of the week?
Ooh, that card is so good.
Yeah.
The Thai V Tamer, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So good. That card is so versatile. It's cheap. It chokes. It resets. It restands. It gives you power. It's the utmost versatility for 2 memory.
Yeah.
And it's one of those ones where it's helped me so many times, because you're going to use your Arena to reactivate the when digivolving, and you're going to play those big cost tamers, right? The Sora and Joes. You're going to play the Davis. You're going to play more Arenas, and you're going to do that. And that's all going to gain you memory. And then you're going to swing, and eventually you run out of Arenas, right?
Yeah.
And so you do it manually by playing the 2-cost tamers.
Got it.
And there was a time tonight where I was playing against a purple deck, surprise, surprise, and I hit Rivals Barrage after Rivals Barrage in their security. And so they killed 2 of my Ulforces, and I had already searched and then tucked when I was looking for Arenas 2 back-to-back. They were back-to-back. Bottom of my deck when I had maybe 25, 26 cards still in my deck. And I was like, I lose this game. I'm already down 2 Ulforce. The other 2 are at the bottom of my deck. How do I get there? So we'll have the deck profile for you guys. It's going to be one of the first deck profiles for BT12 when it comes out. But I run 4 memory boosts, the 4 VMons, the 4
I keep hearing 4 of them. I'm getting so excited.
4 ties, yeah, everything that mills. And I had 4 ties on board, and I would just suspend all of them, draw 4 cards, play a boost, search 4, and I dug through those 26 cards. Got to those Ulforce that I was able to, that I had to bottom deck, and I eventually recycled them, especially with the Vidramon Zero that lets you take cards from your trash and put them under and put it back. That deck does such a good job at getting you back to those cards, even when you think that they're gone.
Yeah.
Right? But that 2-cost tamer lets you restand your Ulforce, and it's going to let you do all kinds of crazy stuff in the next format. It just gives you the DP when you need to. It's the most versatile 2-cost tamer I can think of in the game, outside of maybe Analog Youth or Alice, that have been kind of either power crept out or just kind of.
The only reason I would argue with you is that tamer is specific to that deck.
Oh, it is very specific.
And I love that tamer. Yeah. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it is a stonks card for sure. It was one of those cards that was like 96 cents for a very long time, because Ulforce was a decent deck.
Yeah, nobody did it.
But it wasn't competitive. Yep. But now you play a tamer for 2, and all of a sudden you restand.
Boom.
And you bounce, and you do. I mean, it's amazing. And so I'm very, very excited for that card. I think it's a staple in the deck. You see a lot of different variations of Ulforce, but you never see one, I think, without that as a 4 of. It's pretty hard to find that without a 4 of, because it does everything the deck needs it to do. And yeah, it's fantastic. And I think
my only complaint, and it's nothing about the card, it's about Bandai's response to the popularity of this character. The fact that this is from an old original Digimon manga from so long ago that it's hard for people to access, right?
Is it that old? I don't know.
Yeah, it's
about
like original Digimon, like manga, like early Digimon, right? Like, give us, and forgive me, guys, correct me in the comments, like jump in, let us know the history of V-Tamer, let us know the history of Tai Kamiya and his V-Dramon partner and All Force being like original staple Digimon dudes. But like why hasn't like Bandai needs to totally be like, you know what, guys, we're gonna give you a game, we're gonna give you a series where Tai is the V-Tamer, right? And like, highlighting, use this media opportunity, produce us content that where we want to see the story of Tai and his V-Dramon and all this stuff going all the way to All Force,
My biggest complaint with the card is the fact that I don't think we even get a reprint in RB1.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
I think I double checked. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that there is no reprint. I don't get a foil of this card in the near future.
RB1 only printed the best
next
cards.
Time, looking straight at you, next time there is a vote, tell them that you want the V-Tamer. You need an alternate art of the V-Tamer so I can...
I'll never forget collecting the Japanese cards when the game first started coming out, right? Again, I'm dating myself, guys. I'm an old fart.
There we go.
But, like, having to track down these Shonen Jump promos or whatever. Or it wasn't Shonen Jump.
The magazine stuff?
Whatever the magazine was. I'm horrible. I'm horrible at this. But, like, I would literally track down the magazine and buy it overseas on eBay. Or I had a connection in Singapore that was hooking me up with all of my stuff with the Japanese cards, being like, yep, here's 15 of this particular promo. And I would distribute it to people I knew, and I would sell it on eBay and stuff like that. But I still have the original blue folded piece of paper that has these cards in them.
You have the original V-Tamer stuff
from the Japanese set in 2020, right?
That's
like
not
cool.
That's pretty cool.
I'll bring it. I'll bring it for you.
Yeah, I might need some for the display.
Just pop it in there and stuff like that.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining me.
As always.
In the new and improved studio. Guys, if you guys have recommendations, questions, comments about what you want to see in here, guests that you want to see sit here, and the facilitation still has to happen. We're going to figure that out. But
yeah,
I'm so excited to have you here. I've been waiting for 2 weeks to debut this. We're going to do some more tweaks, some more configuration, but thank you guys for joining us. And once again, if you guys want to hang out with us, can I get your help one more time, Jeff?
Yes.
Come to pre-release.
Pre-release.
Right here.
Come. Please show up.
Well, you guys, we'll see you next week, or hopefully we'll see you tomorrow at pre-release.
Please.
All right. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. Bye.